Welcome to Ari's World. So I'm going to be honest, I had recorded a lot of this content along with the other video and realised that I ramble on. So there's this one particular point that I kind of really wanted to share with everybody, and then I realised that I probably rambled on for like 20 minutes anyway. So I thought it deserved its own video. So here we are, with a little bit of a ramble and a little bit of a rant, I suppose. Not directed at anyone in particular, more directed at myself and my expectations of life. So, yes. Let's get on with the show. So as you know, over the past couple of months, it's been really hard for me to find time to write. So to complement me writing when I can, I've tried to keep my mind focused on the story somehow, whether that's brainstorming a lot of like world building concepts such as the magic system, class system, and some culinary delights. Another thing I've tried to do is learn the art of storytelling through other means. Now, reading books is ideally the way to learn the craft, but I don't have free hands very often, let alone time to actually read a book. So I've kind of been binge watching series and films of all genres, tried to understand how some of these stories are told, to use them as templates and springboards for the time that I write myself into a corner. And I don't mean copying plot points specifically or even mimicking the way that the story is told, but sometimes we can write ourselves into a little cave and we're not quite sure how to get out of it. And if we have lots of examples of how other authors and directors or screenplay writers have tackled those similar issues, then maybe we can write our way out. Or maybe we just die in that cave and write something else. Who knows? Now, I don't know if this happens to anybody else, but I don't like watching new series. And it's more because it frustrates me that I have to wait a week or whatever for new episodes. Or when those series like have a mid-season break and you're like, why am I waiting months? No, I need to know what happens now. So I've been binge watching a lot of series that are like old, like 10 years old. So for example, I binge watched Criminal Minds, The Vampire Diaries, and The Witcher. And also I've been watching my husband play various like RPG games. And although all of these things were really, really enjoyable, I met my current struggle while doing this. I'm sat there freaking out because not only are some of the ideas that I have come up with littered throughout these series, these films, these games, but there are some of them where like it's not just a tiny concept, it's the whole freaking thing. So here's me thinking that I am some like creative genius coming up with a concept, and somebody else has done it. And not only have they done it, they did it many, many years ago. It's out there in the public domain, and I'm just some nobody on the sofa crying, thinking, why? And it's not just the concepts that I see littered around, it's the names of my characters and the places that I have decided to use. And I mean, it all goes down to me thinking that I'm being clever and thinking that my name choices are both intelligent and mystical. Because I researched everything that I use in my book. So my characters, their names are chosen for a reason. The names of the places that I use are chosen for a reason, trying to bring layers to the story. But then I see somebody else has used them for the same reason, and it just cuts me so deep. Elysian, for example. It's part of Greek mythology. And, you know, it's out there. It's in the public domain. It means a conception of afterlife. So there's me sitting down thinking, that's genius. I'm going to use that word as heaven. So instead of using heaven, I talk about Elysian. And then I see it in exactly the same context in some other story, and I'm just like, And then it's the whole Witcher thing. So I have a magic system in my book, and I want magic to have consequences. It's not just a point and go and we're all okay. I am the chosen one. I can just use all of the energy of the world and throw it at you. No, very similar to like science. Energy is transferred, it's not made. Logical. So I'm like, I'm going to do the same. Like, if you use magic, there are consequences, be it physical, be it emotional, be it whatever, right? Logical. And then I watched The Witcher. And not only is that the whole basis of their magic system, which is brilliant, there's the whole no children thing that I had also thought would be brilliant. Used in a different way, completely different way. They have to give that up for the magic. The reason that my characters would give it up is a strategic reason. The elders don't want broody warriors. But I just sat there and was like, what is the point? What is the point? So I did have to sit down with myself and be like, come on. How many stories are similar in some way? Take vampire stories, for example. Regardless of your story, vampires have an issue with the sun. They feed on blood. And there's always something about stakes in their hearts. Werewolves, moon, silver, whatever it is. Like, there are some key elements used in these stories that you can't really get away from. Romance. There's going to be love. There's going to be loss. There's going to be jealousy. And hopefully a reconciliation, because if not, then it's just tragic. But the point is, there will be elements that filter into your story that will be elsewhere. It's just your way of, like, interpreting it. And it's not just that one concept. It's the context. Right? This is me trying to auto-convince myself. But yeah, it's just, there are certain things that I came up with in those like epiphany light bulb moments that I was so proud and sort of excited about. And then you see that somebody has kind of done something very similar or could be interpreted as being similar, and it's out there in the public domain, it's already been done, and it's just like, pretty sure that nobody else would connect the dots. Like, nobody would think that's similar to XYZ super famous thingy-majiggy thing. Pretty sure that nobody would say that. But honestly, these sorts of things make me want to rewrite my story. Like, throw it in the bin and rewrite it. So yeah, that's where I am at the moment. I don't know. I guess it's hard sometimes because I think that writing is difficult anyway. I kind of have this pressure of, oh, is it unique? Is it interesting? Have they read something like this before? And if not, are there people writing similar concepts now that I have to like be really quick? I need to finish my book now just in case somebody steals my idea. Oh, it's so stressful. It's so stressful. But I think that this is going to be one of those lesson learned points that I'm going to have to come to terms with, because it is impossible for me to have read, to have watched, to have played every book, series and game out there that could potentially touch upon the same subjects that I'm writing about. So sure, you know, it's probably been done. Certain elements are of course been done. It's a dark fantasy novel. There are thousands of them out there. But I think I just need to accept that I think that my story is unique in the sense that the individual elements that I may have seen elsewhere have not been placed all together in the way that I have made it. It's like a recipe, right? Everybody makes a brownie different. Do you put walnuts in yours? Everyone knows what a cake is, but there are so many different types of cakes. And there are recipes that take all different types of ingredients and they put them in a different order and it's made differently. It's a different cake. See that now this is me rationalizing. I think I've rambled enough for today. So please like, subscribe, pray for my sanity and that my life maintains some sort of consistency over the next few months. Yeah. Until next time, wish me luck.